Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spirituality and Success with Reverend Dr. Tracy Cox. I'm Reverend Dr. Tracy Cox, and today our guest is Joanna Crowder, and we are going to discuss wellness retreats, all different topics, what you can expect, what we do with them, uh, things that you might do on a wellness retreat. So I'm going to hand it over to Joanna. And Joanna, welcome.
Thank you, thank you. I
Yeah,
was
why don't
I
you
was
tell us a
jamming to
little
the
bit?
music.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So why don't you tell us a little bit about wellness retreats and your connection with them, and we'll get into the topic.
Yeah, so wellness retreats kind of came about after doing some online education, let's say. And we got together, a group of us, and decided we needed to have others feel what it felt like to come together and have this crazy feeling of why does this feel so good? When you have
Yep.
people that are on a higher vibration and they're all coming together. So we decided to put on retreats and all of us had a different modality or a different expertise. So we came together and started doing them for people, really big retreats all together, and it was amazing to see the transformations that happened while we were there. So now we're just continuing to do them on a smaller scale, so that we can do them all over the country versus just one big retreat somewhere. But yeah,
Right,
it's been
right.
amazing to see the
So a little
change.
more intimate with your
Yeah.
participants, and that, like you were saying, that fellowship is so important. Bringing like-minded individuals together so that they can express themselves without censorship, one-on-one in a safe space, so that they can feel that they're not alone. Because a lot of the time, people I find that come to wellness retreats that I've put on and that I've been a teacher at, is that they're going through some kind of a life change. So perhaps they're going through a divorce, is a very common one. Retirement, they want to see which direction their life goes after that. Maybe some kind of a loss. The other one that I see quite often is people that want to get themselves much more healthy. So they're trying to find inspiring content for themselves to take home and work on their own health, whether it's fitness, whether it's meditation, whether it's eating properly, whether it's drinking more water. So all these
All of
things
the
get
above.
addressed. Yeah,
Yes.
or all of the above. So
Yes.
as you put on a wellness retreat, like I know that you've got one coming up. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
The one coming up is actually a couples retreat that
Okay.
my husband and I are hosting. We're partnered with Escape Within, so we are bringing in a meditation specialist and a chef. So all the meals will be they'll be made, and there will be brunches, dinners, and snacks. Basically, you'll be completely satisfied. But they're all plant based, and the amount of energy that you get from eating whole, great, just amazing food, because she's amazing at what she does. And not even realizing that you're eating so healthy, but you're full is a whole
Yes.
game changer, because that just changes you from the inside out. So that's going to be that with a lot of water, a lot of water. So it's going to be very healthy,
Yes.
but at the same time, a lot of connection and a lot of healing.
That's perfect. Now, it's interesting that you're saying that about the food because I started off in health and wellness as a aerobics instructor, yoga instructor, guided meditation teacher at the King Ranch, which was a very expensive elite wellness retreat in King City, Ontario. And one of the largest things that people dealt with was the fact that they wanted to get into healthy eating. So we had nutritionists, we had an amazing chef, and the things that people would eat were so healthy and so different. A lot of local cuisine, and like you said, a lot of water. And there was, at the time, there was no liquor license there. And we had an international waters bar.
Wow.
So it was very interesting because waters from all over the world, and we would have different sports figures come and stay, and they would kind of reset, cleanse their bodies, stay. Uh, we had people like Andre Agassi stayed there, Toller Cranston, like real very interesting individuals that were at the top of their game, and they enjoyed the fact that this was kind of not strict, but very healthy and very serene at the same time. So
Mhm.
dealing with foods in a way that was calming, a way that was inviting, as opposed to, okay, now we're on a really strict diet. So are
Right.
you saying you're doing that type of thing? Like they're really going to enjoy it?
Yes, yes. It's funny when you watch people that come that are not used to eating that way, but then at the end of it, they go home wanting to make meals that are easy and that are healthy because that's what they've been eating throughout the entire weekend and they feel better just from 4 days because it's just a 4 days um
Yeah,
retreat. So from those 4 days, it changes you if you're constantly having water and you're normally not having water at home, but then you see everybody having water, that type of stuff. um, my husband and I even went to Bali and had a retreat there. It was a yoga retreat, and it was all farmed food, fresh, vegetarian, and that was the first time that we ate that way, and we came back and our entire diet changed. Like, we became vegetarian. It was a different feeling going there and experiencing that, and so we brought that back. And I feel like these retreats, they do that to people because they see how delicious it is.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if somebody was looking for transformation and spiritual growth and they were coming to your retreats,
Mhm.
other than the food and kind of the reset with that, which is huge. That's a huge thing for people. Sometimes it can be a shock. But other than the food, what other things do you include in the program?
So we do daily meditations. We also have yoga, which we do this awesome yoga nidra at night, to just calm us down and relax and put us right to sleep. So it's nothing that anyone can't do. But with the couples one, we're going to do some couple tantra stuff. We also have coaching as far as working out, so getting our movements, getting our bodies
Right.
going.
So personal trainer.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then we have all the, one-on-one coaching as far as, needing to talk. I mean, it's gonna be very intimate, very real, very raw, just that's how we are. We're just, like, open and, also the privacy of doing one-on-one with just couples themselves. But we
Sure.
have some surprises there too that I don't wanna, put out there, but it's
Give it
all on the
away.
website. As far as where it is, it's in the Blue Ridge Mountains of NC. So really pretty
Which is
backgrounds,
North
the
Carolina,
elements.
right? North Carolina?
Yes, North Carolina, and
Yeah.
so in the fall, all the leaves are changing all the colors over there. We have the cold plunge, the hot tub, so it's gonna be very relaxing and at the same time, room for discussions and for growth and for that time for connection, so.
Right. So with the fitness aspect of what you do in a day, like 4-day,
Mhm.
retreat,
Mhm.
how much time in the day would you say is blocked out for fitness? Or can you tell me the different fitness things you might do? There's probably different, um, programming.
We normally start off with a meditation, then we do, like, a short 30 to 40-minute workout, and it's guided, obviously, and then we have, our brunch, and then we have some type of workshop or free space or, an event that we have somewhere in between, and then we again have more free space. So it's really not like we're active the entire time. We just have different sessions and we do the same thing on Saturday and on Sunday. So um
Okay, and do
yeah.
people have time to go off on their own? Like, let's say there's because some people need more space than others. Some people can't be surrounded with others all the time. So,
Right.
is there a time
Yeah.
for them to have quiet time in their
Definitely,
own?
we have a lot of time where people need to process, right? Sometimes we get into conversations that are very heavy or cause some healing to happen, some release because we feel safe enough to release with others and heal with others, and somehow it just happens a lot easier than trying to go to therapy for 10 years. Everyone's just
Yep,
suddenly crying,
definitely.
and then you see them go off into their rooms, or you see them go into the hot tub, or they spread out, and yes, they can leave, everything is optional, but it's there for those that want to have it more guided and assisted.
Okay, so it's got a framework, but they can get away if they need to. Yeah, which is
They're
smart.
not
Which is
bound.
good. There's variety. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, with people that you've had at your past retreats or the different things that you've put on, what have you seen that they've had to say has changed for them? Can you give me some examples of people that overcame through just something about the 4-day retreat?
So, one of them that stood out a lot was somebody that came that was not really having full trust of themselves, not believing in themselves and their innate inner power and all of that. And we set intentions when we first get there about how what it is that they want to get out of the retreat, right? By the end of it, we do a ceremony and we write on a piece of paper what we're letting go of, and we burn it. And
Okay.
one of the girls that did this was burning it, and it took a really long time, and we all kind of were just like holding hands and everything,
I didn't want
trying.
to catch. Didn't want to catch.
Yeah, we were like, let's give her some help here. Let's
Sure.
energetically like just give her like hold space for her. And the whole thing just blew. It was amazing. And what was left of it on the piece of paper said power. So she goes, "Oh,
Ah,
it left me with my power." Like this is she kept that little paper and she was like, "This is my power. This is my power." And that was her intention coming in and how she ended it with that ceremony. So that was something that propelled her to really believe in herself to where now she's, doing her thing and just seeing a big difference in where she came in and after. And also other people that came in with maybe not understanding meditation or Reiki and things like that, but felt a huge release and a huge
sure.
difference that they were like, I need to come back and see what this is all about because if you did that to me, then like, what else do you have? And
Yes, yeah, it's like
they
sticking your
became
toe in
regular.
the water of spirituality, right? And
Yeah,
both
yeah.
you and I, we're both work as spiritual coaches, so we've done this for so many years. Sometimes it's really good to take it back to basics for people because we can get so out there with the things that we're talking about that it kind of just can be intimidating for some people.
Yeah, and
So
sometimes
what
people just need a that time to rest and to stay still and to have somebody hold space for them because in this world of busy, 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 like we just don't do that for ourselves. So it's like it's catered to let your body reset, to get that tune up, that we so often need but don't get. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, you would take your car in for, maintenance, but, your body, not always, right? And
No.
this is something that we wanna do for maintenance. We wanna do this for, making sure that we can handle the challenges that come up in our lives. We need this rest. Rest is so important, and what's nice is that people are really talking about, empowerment of taking time for yourself now. It's really come up and 10 years ago you'd never hear that, but now
Yeah.
self-care is so important and people really do realize it. And what I find interesting about what you were just saying about writing down the things that people want to get rid of in their life.
Mhm.
One of the really healing thing that I do sometimes for clients and sometimes at wellness retreats is writing as a spiritual practice where they just write about what's bothering them, maybe write about how they want it to turn out, uh, and just focus on letting their emotions out on the paper and not showing it to anybody, but just having it themselves.
Yeah.
And when they've studied people that have done this, their blood pressure normalizes, their cortisol levels
Mhm.
drop. And cortisol is the stress hormone. So we are so stressed with everything that we do these days. We need to bring that down. And you will find that when you lower that stress hormone, all of a sudden that belly fat starts to go away. All of a sudden, these lines that are around your eyes start to relax. It's so important. And, even writing out our feelings has been proven to relax the body, stress
Yes.
relief, all the things that we really need. So that's a really good exercise for you to do with them.
Well, we journal a lot. We give them a journal and they journal throughout the entire weekend because
Yeah, I know. I've got it's
journaling is I know, right? It's like we're talking about expression and our throat chakra.
yeah, our throat
um
chakras are good. Yeah,
but the
exactly.
journaling gets your that energy that's trapped, everything that we have suppressed, our emotions, our thoughts, or that we're too busy to take a look at, right? And then it just comes out. And so when we put it on paper, we are letting it out and we're taking it out of our field. You just feel like you've released something by writing.
Absolutely.
And I can say that because I'm a
Absolutely.
writer, I'm an
Sure.
author.
Yeah, me
So
too. So
yeah,
once you
so
get it off your chest, yes, you feel
yeah, it's
much
like a
much
totally
better.
different feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they took you and put you and tested your vitals, you would find that your heart rate was lower. You would find that your blood pressure was normalized. It's so good for you.
Yeah.
And people don't realize it's such a simple thing. And sometimes people are a little bit intimidated by spirituality, thinking it has to be this whole big thing or that they have to believe in a certain path. And that's not true. I mean, some people believe in God. Some people believe in the universal life force. Some people just talk about the universe. Some of us just believe in the electrical system that runs our body. And that's all okay because we can have success with any of these ways of thinking. And
Mhm.
that's what a spiritual coach does, is that we take your beliefs and work with them so that we can help you manage your stress, meet your challenges, all those great things that we want to do with our lives that sometimes when you feel overwhelmed, you just don't have the ability to deal. Right. And that's what a wellness journey, especially with a retreat, is to help you reset so that you can
Mhm.
get back into feeling in control of these things. Right. As much
Yeah.
as we can be in control of everything. Right.
Yeah, well,
You know,
when we're
control is a funny thing too that causes problems if we're too controlling.
and that's what I was getting to is control and being at home and doing things and taking action is very the masculine energy, right? We have the electric energy, right? Of just go, go, go. And when we go to
Yeah.
these retreats to retreat, reset, renew ourselves, we're in the self-care feminine energy. And that's that balance that needs to, be that needs to happen. But we're so into the work, 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 action, 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 that we don't get to balance that out. And I feel like this is a huge way of seeing how much things can be synchronized and flow easier when we're balanced, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. And one of the things that I like to do with my clients, but also anytime I would do a retreat or a group, is a really, really simple breathing exercise. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit right now, so that give people an example of something that they can take away from this video and use in their life right away. And I call it the power of 3 deep breaths. And all it is the fact that as we start to have anxiety, as we start to panic, our breathing is not proper. It's not giving us what we need in our body. And the problem with that is that it's a vicious circle. So things get worse, you can't think. And when you're breathing rapidly and panicking, you are in your reptilian brain part of your brain. It's the amygdala,
Fight or flight.
and that's the fight or flight. And the problem is that when you're in that, you cannot think straight. So
Mhm.
this breathing technique is to take you out of the fight or flight and put you into the executive function of the brain, which is in the front of your brain. So we're going to just try this now, and you can do it if you're driving or listening to this. Don't close your eyes. But it's really easy. And all you have to do is think about breathing in through the nose really deeply. So in, and then exhale through the mouth, so that that air is completely out of there. And as you do it again through the nose, you're going to think about inhaling white healing light. So the white healing light of spirit. So we're going to think about that just filling up our entire body and just cleansing everything, making it all bright and clean and scrubbed. So deep breath in through the nose, white light, and then exhaling through the mouth, and let that stress go, let the worries go, let the energy leave. And you can think about that leaving like a shadow. So, one more time, deep breath in through the nose, white light, and exhale through the mouth. Let those shadows go. And after you do that, you should feel really much more calm, much more centered. I don't know if you feel better. I feel
Oh, yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, immediately feel better. And it's so amazing because I've done this with caregivers, the people that look after others with dementia or Alzheimer's, the really hard caregiving. And it's very stressful because there's always something new to deal with. So if caregivers can remember to do these 3 deep breaths anytime they get stressed, what they've found is that, and this has been highly studied, is that it's usually an average of about 5 times a day that you're stressed enough that you need to do this breathing exercise. But after doing it for 4 days, just like your retreat, if they put the caregivers on and check their vitals, once again, their blood pressure is normalized, their cortisol levels are normalized, and their heart rate is in a healthy range. And these are people that are doing very stressful jobs. So if you imagine doing this for yourself, how much better is that going to work for you, right? So the power of 3 deep breaths. If I can get people doing that to start, it just means the world.
Yeah,
And the
because we
other thing
forget
that
to
I lo
breathe.
yes, we do, and when we're
Yeah.
stressed, we hold our breath, and that's the
Mhm.
worst thing you can do because
Right.
once again, it's pushing us into this fight or flight part of the brain. We want to be in the executive function part of the brain so that what we're doing is we're looking down on our life and our troubles with the eyes of an eagle. So we're looking over top, we can see it, we can be very calm, and we can make good decisions. Anytime you're in your reptilian brain and panicking, that's where the bad decisions come from. So what
Sure.
we're
My
trying to
husband
do.
does the box breathing. So it's funny because you were
Oh,
doing
okay,
3
yep.
and he does the 4, but breathing is just essential.
Yes, I mean, there's a million ways of doing it, but yeah, it's so important to work some kind of breathing exercises into your day. It'll just make such a huge difference. You won't believe it. So just try it and see. There's no risk, all reward.
Just
But
breathe.
yeah, and the other thing about the journaling is that you were talking about is that when I do this with people, I get them to note where the stress was coming from, where they needed to breathe. And you'll find that after they do that for a couple weeks, it'll show you where the problems are in your life because
Mhm.
then you'll see, okay, this is where the stress is coming from. And it'll end up being just a few different topics. And then those are the areas that you have to work on, right?
Right.
So I'm sure you guys do different breathing techniques with your retreats and along with the yoga and
Mhm. And the meditation and all that.
Mhm.
So, it's just a great reset and just a good time to get away, like the hustle and bustle and the kids and this and that. So, we look forward to it all the time just because even as hosts, it's still it's still relaxing. We're
Oh
working, but it's
yeah,
relaxing.
amazing.
So,
Amazing. Yeah. Okay, so basically, I hope that that gives all our viewers a little bit of a taste of what it's like to be in a wellness retreat. There's so many different types of wellness retreats, but a lot of the stuff is kind of integral to the way that it's set up. So, Joanna, if you want to give a last little blurb, where to find you and what to expect in this next wellness retreat that you're doing so that people know,
yeah.
and then
So,
go
one
ahead.
thing that I'm really proud of is that a lot of retreats, what you'll find is maybe there's one host and they can't do it all. And so they focus on one thing. And this kind of gives you a taste of all the things because we have people that, specialize in this and that and this and that. So they get a preview. It's like a sampler of what all these retreats would be like, but in one. So that's really cool. And you can find me on joannacrowder.com. There's also the retreat section. And when you click on the love and soul food, there's the entire page of our retreat, what it entails, some pictures of what it looks like, and then, of course, the room selection as well. There's only 4 since it's 4 couples, 4 rooms. So 4 available. I did, however, give you guys a promo. So if you do Hey 100, you get $100 off.
Oh, that's
So
great. Okay.
yeah, Hey 100. Um,
Okay,
I
so they
figured I
just
was
have to
like,
go on to joannacrowder.com. and they'll
Yes, and
find
then
this.
when they go to
Great.
the retreats and select the room, it'll show promo code, and that's where you put it in. Mhm.
Great. Great.
Yeah, but
Okay.
all that is there. If you have any questions, just we can do a discovery call and, get more of your questions answered.
Wonderful. That's great. So thank you so much for joining us. And once again,
Thank
I'm
you.
Reverend Dr. Tracy Cox at reverenddratracycox.com, and I'm a spiritual wellness coach and a Reiki master teacher. You check me out and contact me if you have any questions about your goals with health, spirituality, wellness, all of it. And that was really enjoyable, Joanna. We'll have to have you back again.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
after you do it, and then we can talk about what you guys
How
found
it
with.
went? Yeah, that's awesome. Thank
All
you.
right. So thanks
Mhm.
so much. And I'm just going to put up a screen, and then we'll end the broadcast. So thanks for joining us, everyone. Hope you have a
Good day.
fantastic day, and we'll see you soon.